Hey, hey, everybody. Mntdewmania here. And welcome back to Vox Populi here on one of the awesomest servers in the whole world. And it is, you will see this Friday. I am recording it on New Year's Eve. It is about almost 7 o'clock here. Got chicken and dumplings cooking on the stove, and it's me and my son at home, and my daughter Fluffy Puma is off with her boyfriend. They're staying at their first official night at their new place. She's got a couple more things they got to do, and but they wanted to spend it up there for the new year coming in. So yeah, just me and my son here, and that kind of ties in with today's rant. And believe it or not, this is about the second time I've done this video because I went off on a tangent on the last one. So I started over. I want to do this right and not sound like a preacher on a pulpit. But and speaking of P is for parenting. Yeah, you thought I was going to go with positivity, didn't you? Uh-huh. No, we're going to go with parenting. And the definition of parenting is the methods, techniques, etc., used or required in the rearing of children. So, there is a Chinese proverb that says, there is only one pretty child in the world and every parent has it. Yep, that's how every new parent on this planet thinks, pretty much. Um, we fell in love, we got married or not. I mean, it's not a big deal anymore like it was when I was a kid, you know. Because I am a lot older than you guys. But here we are together, and it's a beautiful moonlit night, and I love you, and you love me, and we're together, and I want to share my life with you. Let's have a baby. Okay, honey, let's have a baby. And to the miracle of Cabbage Patch Kids and, garden leaves or whatever the thing was. Cabbage leaves. Yeah, sorry. Storks and cabbage leaves. We have a baby. And your life just got a lot more complicated right there. For 9 months, I mean, I have, first of all, the best advice about being pregnant and getting ready to be a parent, don't take anybody else's advice. Okay? Because what worked for me, probably it might not work for you. 9 times out of 10, every woman who gets to tell you about her pregnancy, you're going to get a horror story. Okay, she was in labor for 4 days. She screamed. She did. They couldn't get her the drugs to work. Um, so yeah, that's the first step of parenting is hearing how all the other parents have went through this tragic thing, and so and it's true. It's almost like my story tops your story kind of deal. Oh, I was in labor for 12 hours. Psh, please, I was in labor for 4 days. It's almost like bragging rights. So, but eventually you do have this little bundle of joy that comes into your life. And folks, I'm telling you, your world just ended. Okay? Forget going out to the dinners and the bars and the parties and spending all, Your universe now is centered around that child. Okay? Here's little Fred, and little Fred is now the sun, and everything rotates around Fred. That's just the way it is. And that's the way it's going to be for the rest of your natural life. Do not think at any point in time that you get to undo being a parent. You do not. Okay? Now, there might be, like I said, there might be like trial marriages or whatever. There ain't no trial children. That baby is here, and now you better rethink all the strategies you had for planning your life because little Fred here just changed it. It is a whole new ball game, and you are going to make mistakes. I don't care what works for Bob and Jane across the street with the four perfect children, or Mary and Thomas over here who can't. I mean, it's a wonder your kids haven't fell off a building somewhere. Okay, you and your partner have to decide how to raise this child. Now, either you're going to raise this child or this child is going to raise you. Okay, but I think in this day and time, we tend to you want to give your child everything that you never had. And unfortunately, that actually does mean things. Because I can go in my son's room right now and I can name all the stuff he has, and that is more than I had 5 years after I got married. Okay? Because he's got computers and he's got games and he's got, you know, and I'm like, I can't even imagine, you know. I like I said, you know that I grew up way back in the hills, and I mean I lived on a farm, and I mean I was splitting wood and plowing gardens at the age of 10. My son doesn't even like to go outside because it's away from his PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's just the days and times, you know. But I think we tend to handicap our children by making their lives easy, or sometimes. You want the best for your kid. You want them to have everything, you know. You don't want to be that parent that says, "Well, no, we can't have that, honey." You know, you want to. I mean, I do. I want to give my son stuff. I want to give my daughter stuff. You know, but sometimes, um, you know, you have to wait for that inevitable time when no, we can't have that, and the kid whips around real quick and says, "I hate your guts, mom." Um, if you have never been hated by your child, you have never been a parent. Betty Davis said that, and that's the truth. Because do not think, like I said, that child will raise you if you do not raise it. It will. It's, you know, I mean, it's just, you know what I think it is? I think it's just because everything is practically disposable nowadays. You know, back in the day, I mean, I can remember the very first car I got. It was after I got married, but my dad gave me this old raggedy, you know, but I loved that car. I absolutely loved it. It was a big old boat of a 1969, whatever it was, Galaxy something, and I loved it. It didn't matter if it was new, it didn't matter if it was sprayed paint with cans. I loved that car, you know, but I had to do a lot of work to get it. And, you know, if you if you want children to keep their feet on the ground, you got to weigh them down some with some responsibilities. You know, I think that's where some parents go wrong. I mean, they don't expect their. I mean, I have known. I mean, you know, I have seen people just. My God, they hand their kids cars like they're Tinker Toys or something. You know, I mean, I can name a kid I know. He has wrecked four vehicles, and finally the grandparents stepped in and said, "You got to quit giving this kid cars. He's tearing them. He's wrecking them." You know? Well, he's just a boy. He's going to be a dead boy. You know? I mean, it's wonderful if you want to give your kid everything, but sometimes they don't need everything. It's you have to, and sometimes it's the opposite. I mean, sometimes parents talk about this next generation. I just don't know what to think of them. What in the world's wrong with them? You talking like you didn't have anything to do with it. We made the younger generation. I was there. I know we did. I made at least two of them. So, I want to teach, I mean, that's part of being a parent, you know, is teaching your kids right from wrong. And I mean, that's one thing. Now, I mean, there's some things that probably I taught my kids that people, I mean, people still to this just kind of raise their eyebrow at me like, what in the hell is wrong with you? I have never censored my children when it comes to music or movies or what they have watched on TV. I do not believe in censorship. Oh well, you can't let your son play all these violent, horrible games and watch all these crazy people on TV. He'll end up being some kind of gangster. No, my son knows that that's make believe because I let him watch it. I mean it's based in reality. You know, I have we had a friend when about 15 years ago, and it's I mean it was their decision. They put their daughter in a private school because they didn't want her exposed to public school. I mean like I'm assuming like drugs and I'm like, but the child was so she didn't have any what I call like social graces. She was so shy and she didn't know how to interact, because they homeschooled her before she got in this very exclusive school. She couldn't even carry on a conversation because she'd never had to. I mean, she didn't know how to interact with people her own age. Now, is that bad parenting? No, you do what you think is best for your kids, you know? And I'm sure she got a wonderful education. I mean, the best money could buy. But what they thought was, I didn't agree with, which brings me to my next point. You cannot go. You can ask your mom and dad, you know, what's the best way to raise a kid, and they'll just look at each other and, I mean, they'll come up with a couple of answers, but the real answer is there is no formula. You do the best you can. You try to raise them on what you want your the adult version of this tiny little thing to be in the future. You know, and remember, I mean, if you want you want them grounded, you put some responsibility on their shoulders. Don't hand them everything. They don't need everything. They don't need a $600 damn iPhone 6. You know what I'm saying? Did they work for it? Did they work for that money? That you know what I'm saying? No, probably not. But George and Sally and Frank and Tom and Dick and Harry has one. So I got to keep up with the Joneses and the Johnsons and everybody else in the neighborhood. What will people think? Let me get my child this and this, and they can go brag, and that makes me look good. Is basically what you're saying. I mean, come on, it's the truth. So you want to teach your kids. And I'm not saying you can't have a wonderful time with your kids. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you had to be the strict, horrible adult. But you got to be a parent. You have to be a parent. And sometimes, yeah, you have to say no. And sometimes that kid's going to whip around real quick and say, Mom, I hate your guts. You have, I mean, that's just the way it is. And now I'm to the age, my kids are to the age, they're 20 and 15. It is my mission in life now to embarrass them as much as possible in every occasion that I can. Don't think that I have not taken my daughter, we've taken her out to dinner for her birthdays, and sing out loud in the car as we pass traffic, sing out loud in the restaurant, just to watch that blush, and there's not a thing she can do about it. That is the revenge I have been waiting for 18 years. 20 now. So, it's just, but a lot of it is like, it's choices. Now, like Buddy Hackett said, as a child, my family's menu consisted of two choices: take it or leave it. So that was, I mean, you know, that was it. If we ain't got it, you ain't get it. I don't care if you don't like so and so on your plate. You're going to eat it because that's what we got to eat. And I mean, sometimes the land of plenty is it's plenty enough. You know. Um, do you? I mean, all I'm saying is, uh, overall, it's just a child comes into enters your house, and it's just, the next 20 years. They make so much noise. This is the problem I'm running into now. They make so much noise, you can hardly stand it. They'll be screaming and fighting, and But I'm telling you, when that child departs and they leave the house silent, you think you're gonna lose your mind. It's. I mean, it's over so quickly. My friend of mine, Jamie from Jamie's Universe, a wonderful YouTuber. Um, he has a new baby, and little Zach is just he's just absolutely just gorgeous. And I've already kind of unofficially adopted him as I'm his American. They're in the UK. I'm his American godmother. I've already decided. I don't care what Jamie and his wife decided, but I know I am. And he said it was the best thing to happen in 2014, and it is. It's a wonderful, crazy, insane trip, you know. And I'm telling you, from experience, from a lot of experience, savor every single step they take. Try to be there for as much as you can. You will never get it back. And if you're old enough to have kids, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're younger and your parents, give your parents a break, okay? If they say no, and if they say no, we can't have this, or no, you can't do that, they probably have a good reason for it. Just cut them some slack, guys. Um, I mean, when you watch them, I mean, we tend there tends to be like a gap. I don't know what mom and dad do in the real world, and maybe it has been a while since I've been in high school, and but someday you're going to be in their shoes, and they've already been in your shoes. So, because I'm telling you, all those things you think you're getting away with, uh, and no, parents know. That's one thing that I've never been. I was never a big person about grades. As long as my kids did the best they could, I was perfectly happy. If my son gets B's and C's, I am perfectly happy with an average child. One thing I will not tolerate is lying. I can tell when my kids try to lie to me. You moms know, don't they, guys? Oh yeah, every one of y'all nodding along with me right now because you know it's the truth. Uh, Mom's got that. She knows. Um, and it's someday you'll get it. You'll get the secret ingredient. I don't know what it is, but you'll get it as soon as you have your baby. You'll know. But it's a wild, crazy trip. It lasts for, if you're lucky, 20 years, and then they go, and then you're just like, what do I do now? What do you mean free time? What is this free time you're talking about? I don't understand. What planet are you from? You know, it's but it's crazy, and it's wonderful, and it's scary, and it's parenting. So as you look off into the new year, um, parent or child, kind of take 1 second, just one, and look, hop over and stand in the other person's shoes just for a minute. And if you're the parent, remember what it was like to be that age. And if you're the kid, try to think what you would do if you were mom and dad's age and you had the decisions to make. What would you do? So, give each other a little bit of slack. But I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I've been ranting way too long. This is a good one. I mean, parenting is it's a full time job, and just a little note here at the end, kids. Don't think when you turn 18 and you're like all legal and everything that mom and dad are gonna stop being mom and dad. Huh? That ain't gonna happen. As I told my daughter Fluffy Puma when she walked out the door today, I expect my phone calls to she used to call me every day. I will never stop being her mother. Even when I sing loudly in restaurants to embarrass her, or I'm watching her back, or giving her advice, um, I'm always going to be her mom. That's you can have temporary marriages, but you never have temporary children. So, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. Be safe. Have a wonderful day. And I think we're going to have a great New Year. And I'll catch you guys later. So, live from Vox Populi, I'm so out of here. Later, guys.